Welcome back to The Creative Code, where we dive deep into the world of creativity and how it shapes our world. On today's episode, we're touching on the difference between creativity and innovation. First thing we need to do is actually identify the terms. Creativity is the ability to generate new and original ideas. Creativity is more about thinking outside the box or finding new perspectives on things and maybe imagining possibilities that don't currently exist. Whether it's painting a picture or writing a story or even something along the lines of creating a new marketing campaign, creativity is the birth of ideas. Now, on the other hand, innovation is the process of taking those ideas and turning them into something practical and valuable for the marketplace. Innovation is more about implementation versus creation, making something that works, that solves a problem or adds value to somebody's life. While creativity is the spark, innovation is often known as the image that drives the change in our world. So how exactly do these two relate to one another, and why exactly do they get interchanged more often than not? Think of creativity as the raw material, right? Building a house, you have the raw materials. You have the siding, the 2x4s, flooring, plywood, windows. That is the creative side of things, right? You're going to take all these materials and make something brand new. Whereas innovation is the process of refining that. It's the process of making a better house, making a more well-rounded house. When you first build a house with those types of things, if you know nothing about what you're doing, it's not going to be great. But innovation is how that process gets better, how we create new things from that. And it helps shape our ideas, our understandings, our processes into something with a form, with a true purpose. It is important to note that creativity doesn't always simply lead into innovation. So you can technically have creativity without innovation, but on the other end, you cannot have innovation without some form of creativity. Much like a car engine, like I mentioned before, you need some form of spark to get the engine going, right? Just like you have a spark plug in your car that starts the engine and gets it going to where you can now go from point A to point V. You need the same thing with innovation. Think of innovation as your car's engine, and the spark that lights it is creativity. Here's the funny thing is that innovation can actually spark creativity. So in one way, it's not related to your car's engine, at least. But with innovation, you can have new styles of creativity, right? You can have new things that come from that style of innovation where you take a group of ideas and make something new from it. That form of innovation can now spark new ideas because this innovation didn't exist before, right? But now you can spark new ideas off of that. As you work toward turning your idea into reality, you're likely to come up with some new creative solutions. As you work to turn your ideas into reality over the course of your career or your life as an artist, it's very likely that you're going to have some new creative solutions to a lot of the obstacles that you're going to come across along the way. Now, how exactly do you grow both your innovation and your creativity? Can you do both at the same time? Is it even possible? The key to where they both can grow is to, first of all, have an environment where they both can thrive. Because if they can't thrive, then they obviously can't grow either. Let's look at creativity first. There's plenty of episodes on this podcast on how you can grow your creativity because it's not born, it's made. First one is to encourage your curiosity. Ask more questions. Ask why more often. Because the more you understand how something works, the better understanding you can have for more creative ideas going forward. Number two is to create a space for experimentation, because experimentation and exploration are two of the founders of creativity. They're two ways that you can find new things to do. You can find new ways of doing them. And the space that you need for both exploration and experimentation is what your creativity needs in order to develop. Third, to foster your creativity, you have to embrace that there's going to be some failure along the way. Failure is not something to be scared of. It's something to embrace when you're trying to be more creative. Often, the most creative ideas that we have come from errors. They come from missteps. They come from failures because they help us understand what we did wrong. They give us opportunities to learn, and it gives us opportunities to now try something brand new and think of a new creative idea. And that's where creativity can really flourish. Now, with your innovation, here's a few ways that you can cultivate that. First of all, focus on problem solving. You want to identify issues that are happening in the world around you, maybe in the marketplace. It doesn't necessarily have to be for a business purpose. Maybe it's something that you do at home that you need an innovative solution for. When you're focused on problem solving instead of problem identifying, you're going to have more room for innovation because you're going to be looking for solutions, not just problems. Number two is to apply a structured approach. Innovation benefits from processes, from structure, because innovation is taking creative ideas and forming them into something. Remember the house analogy from before. You're taking a process of having those creative ideas and then making them into something that works for you. Number three, and this one actually cultivates both of these, is to have diverse perspectives, which can be done through collaboration. It can be done through more research, but a more varied input or wide-ranging input or thought process or perspective can lean into a more robust innovation style or innovation process. You bring all these elements together and create a space where your creativity and innovation can both thrive, then it creates a type of synergy or a cycle almost that you create, that you have creative ideas that foster new innovations, that create new ideas that foster innovations, and it's a big cycle, right? It's a large synergy, and that synergy can both drive personal and professional growth and opportunities. Just because there is a synergetic relationship between the two of these ideas, it doesn't mean that you can't have one without the other, that you can separate the two. Sometimes your full creative process or your journey can get stifled by the fact that one or the other gets stalled a little bit. If you lack creative ideas, you're also going to slow down in your innovation. And if you have constraints in innovation, you may also start to experience some constraints in your creative ideas because you're not having new innovations to jump off of. It's crucial to recognize it, first of all, and then let creativity run free, because that's going to be the spark behind the whole thing. Like, obviously, you can have creativity come off of your innovation, but creativity is going to be the spark behind the entire engine. You want to allow yourself some free roam brainstorming, right? One of my favorite practices is to keep a journal to log all the creative ideas that I have. And then I spend time both at the beginning of my day when I wake up and then right before bed, writing down any creative ideas that I have. Even if they're ideas that I've already written down, that just reaffirms that it was an idea that's currently been on my head and is going to stick with me for a little bit until I actually take the next step forward on that idea. The other part of that is to relieve some pressure. You want to remove the pressure of having to have creative ideas. That can come from chatting with other people, collaboration. It can come from playing. It could come from working on something else for a time being. Even as something as simple as just cleaning your desk can help unlock your subconscious mind a little bit and get the creative ideas flowing again. A couple of simple ways that you can separate that as well when you come across an obstacle or a blockage is that you can set clear goals and deadlines. That gives you an opportunity to put a time limitation on your creativity, to have a constraint to get moving forward. Oftentimes when you give yourself too much time, you tend to lean into, okay, well, I can work on A, B, or C instead of I need to work on this project right here. Having that timeline also keeps your entire process on track. So if you happen to hit a roadblock, you can really focus in on that roadblock or move in on the next task to allow that roadblock to kind of clear itself in your subconscious. The other important part for innovation too is that you want to use your creativity as a tool, not the end all be all, because both of these can operate on their own. Even though innovation needs creativity, you want to use it as a tool, not lean on it completely. You still want to be focused on your end result of what you want the innovation to capture or to accomplish. So I don't exactly have a counter on how many times I've said creativity or innovation, but it's going to be a few more. Let's look at some examples to where you can actually apply what we're talking about today. So let's look at Apple. Their creativity in the 2000s with the launch of the iPhone was in reimagining what a phone could be, what it could do. Because before that, it was flip phones, house phones. They reimagined the phone and turned it into an all-in-one device. Now, obviously, we're into iPhone 15, 16, and beyond, and we've seen what the iPhone has become, what we've seen phones as a whole become. Their innovation, however, was in the design and the implementation of that. They had the idea of, let's make the iPhone something huge, something much more than just, hey, let's talk on the phone, hey, let's text. they wanted to take it to the next level. So that's where innovation came in. They implemented that innovation through the design, the development, and marketing, which was phenomenal, by the way, that turned that idea and that creativity into a product that revolutionized an industry and has revolutionized every industry. Another great example is actually Elon Musk. Put your feelings about Elon aside, his creative vision for space travel with SpaceX was groundbreaking, to say the least. Because before that, space travel was really limited to NASA and any other government that had some form of space exploration. He wanted to make it private. So he did with SpaceX. Innovation came in the process of testing and constant testing and engineering and problem solving. And all of those things have made space travel more feasible and sustainable. He made space travel private to make it more sustainable and more realistic. So what can we take away from this? Are creativity and innovation different? Are they the same? Well, creativity and innovation, in my opinion, are like a coin. They are two sides, essentially, of the same coin. They each have their unique value, and when they're put together, they can lead to some incredible breakthroughs, ideas, innovations that help improve the world around us. By really understanding the difference between the two, what each one means on their own and how they affect each other, we can now take that power, take that knowledge to help drive our own success and drive the success of the people around us. So hopefully you were able to gain some good things out of that today and apply that into your own success, whether it be personal or professional. As always, I want to thank you for tuning into the Creative Code. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the show on Apple or Spotify. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to it on Apple or Spotify, or check out the video version on YouTube. And please share the episode with somebody else that you think it would benefit as well. As always, keep creating, keep innovating, stay curious, and remember that we've all got some creativity inside of us. See you in the next one.